മാനവ സംസ്കൃതി വാനോളം അറിവിൻ സ്വതന്ത്ര മന്ത്രം ചൊല്ലിയൊഴുകാമിനി സംസാര സാഗരമാകെയും. സ്വാഗതം 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 സ്വാഗതം. വിജ്ഞാനത്തിൻ വിശ്വവീതിയിൽ കുറിച്ചു പായും തേരാളി ആ തേരോട്ടത്തിൻ കർമ്മസാക്ഷി കൊച്ചി സർവകലാശാല മഹാരഥന്മാർ മലയാളത്തിനു പകർന്നു നൽകിയ പുണ്യം മലയാളികളുടെ സ്വന്തം സർവകലാശാല കൊച്ചി സർവകലാശാല കൊച്ചി സർവകലാശാല. വിദ്യവിളങ്ങും കേരള ക്ഷേത്രം ശാസ്ത്രത്തിന്റെ കളിത്തട്ട് വിജ്ഞാനത്തിൻ വിശ്വവീതിയിൽ കുറിച്ചു പായും തേരാളി ആ തേരോട്ടത്തിൻ കർമ്മസാക്ഷി കൊച്ചി സർവകലാശാല കൊച്ചി സർവകലാശാല. ഊർജം കൊണ്ടു വസുന്ധരയാകെ തിളങ്ങുന്നു കർമ്മപദത്തിൽ കലയും ശാസ്ത്രവും അന്യോന്യം കരവേൽക്കുന്നു. അതിരുകളില്ലാത്ത പുതിയ പ്രതീക്ഷകൾ അവകുറിച്ചിറകടിച്ചുയരുന്നു. സ്വതന്ത്ര മാനവ സംസ്കാരത്തിൽ പാലായനങ്ങൾ തുറക്കുന്നു. സ്വതന്ത്ര മാനവ സംസ്കാരത്തിൽ പാലായനങ്ങൾ തുറക്കുന്നു. വിദ്യവിളങ്ങും കേരള ക്ഷേത്രം ശാസ്ത്രത്തിന്റെ കളിത്തട്ട് വിജ്ഞാനത്തിൻ വിശ്വവീതിയിൽ കുറിച്ചു പായും തേരാളി ആ തേരോട്ടത്തിൻ കർമ്മസാക്ഷി കൊച്ചി സർവകലാശാല കൊച്ചി സർവകലാശാല. ഉൽപാദനവും സൂക്ഷിപ്പും വിതരണവും കൈകോർക്കുന്നു. കൈത്തിരി നീട്ടി കാലം കടകത്തിരിക്കുന്നു. കുത്തക കെട്ടിയുയർത്തിയ തലമുറ കുസാറ്റിലൂടെ തകരുന്നു. ഉലഹിതമായൊരു ദൗത്യവുമായ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഉയരുകയാൽ ഉലഹിതമായൊരു ദൗത്യവുമായ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഉയരുകയാൽ
administrators, enlightened academics, people from all walks of life, free software activists, and young students who represent the exciting promise that the future holds for us. The National Conference on Free Software 2008 is not merely one more conference of an academic discourse. It is different in content and purpose. This conference is an affirmation of critical values and ethical positions. We are here primarily to declare our necessary bias, our commitment to freedom. This conference will declare our resolve to liberate the intellectual commons and to ensure the free circulation of knowledge. We will reaffirm our conviction that knowledge can never be private property. Knowledge must not be permitted to be monopolized and appropriated as an instrument of division and exploitation. In a way, the year 2000 is a time marker. 25 years back, in September 1983, Richard Stallman announced the new project. The development of the operating system began a year later. In 1985, the Free Software Foundation was launched with its copyleft manifesto, ensuring software freedom for all. 25 years after this sublime idea took germ, we are meeting in CUSAT to take stock, to define our own commitment, and to evolve directions for meaningful interventions. During the 2 days of this conference, we will take our first step to develop as a leader and advocate for the free software movement in this part of the world. The discussions, the demonstrations, the exhibits, and the activities will represent our determination to keep knowledge free. CUSAT will work closely with our partners to give shape to viable projects that promote free software and ideals that it represents. CUSAT will switch over to the use of free software and will be a key node in the network of individuals, institutions, organizations, and governmental agencies committed to the generation, nurturing, and transaction of knowledge in the public domain. We will work towards the enhancement of accessibility to knowledge. Equity and access will be the guiding concerns when we blueprint our virtual classrooms and allied academic projects. It is our fortune that we have a person of the caliber Dr. K.J.Ambrosiuse at the helm. We are certain that the rest of his tenure as the Vice Chancellor of CUSAT will be brilliant years that match the brilliance of his academic and career graph. Dr. K.J.Ambrosiuse is the president of this inaugural section. We welcome him. Comrade M.A. Bailey has been working tirelessly to revamp the structures that control the educational transaction of the state. He has been taking up challenges after challenge. The task of an education minister is fraught with peril, but Comrade Bailey has already made his tenure remarkable by his willingness to take up progressive steps to transform the modes and manner of education in the state. We welcome Comrade Bailey to CUSAT and to inaugurate the National Conference on Free Software 2008. Comrade Ambrosiuse is a person of informed insight. He combines his ministerial task with the academic acumen of a scholar and researcher. He had predicted with medical accuracy the crisis of finance capital that now shakes the foundations of our globalized world. Dr. Thomas Isaac will deliver the keynote address. We at CUSAT welcome him and look forward to hearing his views on the present context. Justice V.R. Krishnayan is our chief patron. In fact, he lends his patronage to a very progressive endeavor of importance to civil society. Though he is not physically present on the venue, technology may bring his message to us. We greet Justice Krishnayan. We have in our midst Dr. Divesh Das, IT Minister from West Bengal. I have great pleasure to welcome Comrade Dr. Divesh Das to our midst. Dr. Kiran Chandra is with us. He is the convener of the Swechon an NGO working for free software localization in Telugu. Dr. Kiran Chandra was the convener of the first national conference on free software held in Hyderabad 2007, and he is welcome to this. We have with our former Vice Chancellor, Dr. Babu Joseph. He is here to grace the occasion. I welcome you to this function. And the lead, Dr. Sebastian Paul is supposed to be here, and he is suspected any day. He was in Delhi the other day. Our hearts go to him. He is an alumnus of CUSAT, and he is welcome, Dr. Sebastian Paul. Dr. Sri A.M. Yusuf MLA, he is our member of the Legislative Assembly. He has always taken especial interest in the development of the CUSAT. We welcome A.M. Yusuf MLA to this conference. Sri K.V. Thomas MLA is also supposed to come and participate, and we expect him to come. We are confident that he will lend his encouragement to all our progressive efforts. We welcome Sri K.V. Thomas MLA. And also I welcome Dr. N.D. Inasu, Pro Vice Chancellor CUSAT, to this session. I also welcome Sri Bobby Joseph, Manager Novel India Limited. His organization, with a presence in 60 countries, has been carrying out its transactions using free software. He has been an inspiration to us. We welcome Sri Bobby Joseph also to our midst. Ministers from West Bengal, Vice Chancellors of different universities are present today. We value their solidarity. We welcome them to CUSAT and to this conference. Let me also welcome all the distinguished persons in the audience, the media, all our delegates, teachers, professors, administrative staff of CUSAT, faculty, students from other institutions, free software activists, students of CUSAT, and all other friends who are here to bless us and to take part in this important event. Thank you.
Due to our minister's busy schedule,
Dr. Devesh Das, Dr. Babu Joseph, Sri Kiran Chandra, Dr. Joy Laveri, and other distinguished friends seated on the dais, delegates of the National Conference on Free Software 2008. First of all, I express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Gangan Pratap for having kindly permitted me to deliver the inaugural address, but meanwhile I am told Dr. Justice Krishnaiyer has come on the screen, and after having heard and viewed the message, I shall deliver my inaugural address.
A message will
Service begin. Friends and comrades everywhere. It is a sense of democratic fulfillment and unity of humanity that today I am inaugurating a conference, a national conference on software. Democracy becomes meaningful only if there is free communication. That is why software, free technology, free humanity, they go together. Communication is the quintessence of expression. We, members of the humanity, whichever the nation we believe, can understand each other only if there is technological methodology whereby it is possible for us to tell our neighbor anywhere, in this hemisphere or the other hemisphere, in this continent or the other continent, whatever occurs to us, whatever needs we wish to perform, and whatever goals we have to achieve. That is why software has come into existence. Software, free software. Imagine the wonder of free software. We can communicate free. It is a world of freedom, a new world of freedom. It is not as if there is secretly monopoly of information and only the rich, the privileged can share it. Everyone has access to freedom of information through the software process. This software technology has been stored up and it is no longer the private asset of certain categories of people. The third world, the first world, the second world, all together we make up humanity, and we have so much to talk to each other. We have so much information to exchange. We have so much learn from each other. All this becomes possible only when software becomes free. And today, the inauguration of this national conference is geared to this great aim of free communication through software from my work to every other one. There is nothing like a division. There is nothing like a border. There is openness, and wherever information is given through the software, it becomes everlasting and instant communication. Remember, there is no delay. Communication must be immediate, so that people may talk to each other instantly. And that is why there is great significance in this national conference, which for the first time is going to tell humanity we are free because we can communicate free. There is no privacy, there is no monopoly. Everything is available to everyone. It is with this objective that we have started this process. This is a universal process. It's a great phenomenon. This is an achievement which I have no doubt whatever will bring humanity together, and peace among nations will be possible if there is frank and free and instant communication. And that is what is taking place today. It is with these words that I, in inaugurate this national conference. I hope the 2 days of long discussion will open up new dimensions of communication, new methodologies of communication, new openness, a new openness will be offered if we are to have no longer intrigues and secrecies and wars and plots and big business monopolizing. No more big business, no more MNCs. It is the common people. They have the right, they have the access, they have the freedom. It is this universal freedom of communication through software. Software is so soft, so beautiful, so nice, so effective that we are going to have a new world of communication. And it is this world of communication which will produce a lasting peace. And through lasting peace, that mankind can go forward. Humanity, you are free from now on. Software will make you free. Thank you.
Now our minister will resume his inaugural address.
Friends, we have heard Justice B.R. Krishnaiyer, and today happens to be the 94th birthday of this great fighter for justice who stands by the disadvantaged, dispossessed and marginalized sections of people. Therefore, from the second National Conference on Free Software, let us all wish a very happy birthday to Dr. Justice B.R. Krishnaiyer. Friends, this conference is taking place in Cochin University of Science and Technology. And those who are assembled here are also from the field of science and technology. So I think it would be in the fitness of things if we extend our warm congratulations to the scientists of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, its chairman, Dr. G. Madhavan Nair, and Dr. Annaduri, who has been the head of the Chandrayaan mission for the very successful completion of Chandrayaan mission, which has also put our country in the fraternity of 3 other countries which have achieved such remarkable gain in the field of science and technology. Friends, due to a very peculiar situation that I have to catch a flight within another 45 minutes time from the Nedumashedi airport. There was some slight delay and change in the, course of progress of the proceedings of the meeting. I don't think it would be possible for me to go through the entire text of my speech. Therefore, what I would propose is exactly the way in which we have been benefited from the distant speech of Justice Krishnaiyer, which is being communicated to us through information communication technology, using the old technology of print. I wish and hope that the text of my speech should be distributed to you. There will be special presentations made during the course of this seminar and conference regarding the achievements of the state of Kerala in the field of education, especially how we have been making significant contribution in adopting free software in the field of education. I am sure that the IT School Mission Director, Mr. Ambrosiuse, who is present here, would be making a special presentation about the very remarkable achievements the educational sector of Kerala could make in adopting to free software in the curriculum of up to +2 stage in the state of Kerala. I think Kerala is the state, the only state of the country where universal usage of free software in the school curriculum could be fully achieved through a government decision. This has become compulsory for every school that free software is used for not only education, not only computer education. We have had our examinations also conducted using free software. Over 70,000 teachers have been trained to use and adopt free software technology. Majority of the high schools already have achieved connectivity with broadband internet, and this facility, this infrastructure that is being set up in collaboration with BSNL would be helping us to switch over to free software totally in the entire state. Moreover, now we are planning to change from computer training using free software to information and communication technology enabled education for all the subjects. So significant achievements have been made in the state of Kerala so far as changing over to free software technology is concerned. Similarly, the Department of Culture has already decided to donate the content of Malayalam Encyclopedia to Malayalam Wikipedia. Government of Kerala under an international center for force, and I hope our Chief Minister, when he is expected to participate in the valedictory function, would speak more about the projects that the government of Kerala is proposing in this field. Now, while formally opening the second national conference and seminar, I would also like to wish the delegates who have come from different parts of our country a comfortable stay here, because since this is being held in CUSAT, this is part of the education department, and I am the pro-chancellor of this university. So I am the host of this session also. There will be certain inadequacies. These are all not intentional. The reception committee has tried its level best to provide you with excellent working conditions and stay. I wish and hope that this second All India conference of the free software movement would be a resounding success. With these few words, I declare that the second conference is open. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister Sri M.A. Honorable Ministers Dr. Isaac and Dr. Dinesh Das, Dr. Babu Joseph, and all of you who are assembled here. I'll make my talk even briefer than the ministers. I'll lead the discourse for this conference with some philosophical insights. The lamp that we lit a little while ago is the symbol of knowledge. But the lamp generates at the same time light and heat. And I am sure in the discussions and debate over the next 2 days, we will find this dialectical conflict between light and heat regarding the subject. Now, I myself have headed a premier laboratory on computational modeling, and my experience is typically this. Of the 24 scientists who were working in my laboratory, only 3 used free software. The remaining 21 used proprietary software. And there is a reason for that. You have to balance freedom of cost with freedom of use. A lot of effort and energy goes into developing proprietary software that's very easy to use. And so many of us, not just expert users, but also lay users, would like to use packages and methodologies that they can plug and play. So the issue that we have to keep in mind is this: price versus ease of use. And unless we solve that problem, the free software movement will never succeed in the larger sense. Now, with these words, I would end my speech briefly, as I promised, so that the keynote address for this day can be delivered by all of us. CUSAT, Dr.
K.J.Ambrosiuse, and the other dignitaries of the dais, and my friends. I'm really happy for being invited in this second national conference on free software 2008. I was also present in the first national conference. Obviously, this movement is gaining momentum in India, and then more and more people are becoming aware about the use of the free software. The free software is not the one more option, but it is going to be the only option in future. And especially for a country like India, we have no other way other than using the free software. Due to the several reasons, number one, that India is a very vast country. We cannot afford to give the money for using this so much for using the proprietary software. Number two, that India has the proper quality of talent pool. Practically very much difficult, if not impossible, to be self-reliant in hardware. Why not we let us try to be self-reliant in software, at least in the basic parts. We can use the help of this free software and other parts that we are using, other applications which we are using. We can develop on that free software platform, and even in future we can design some products, software products, which can be internationally acclaimed. You know that the Indian scientists have proved their credibility in several sectors. If you consider the space technology, if you consider the atomic energy, is the research on the atomic energy, we have done very good in these areas. So quality software also will do something remarkable. I think by creating the awareness among the people and bringing the several scientists in this movement, it is possible to make a significant change. In West Bengal, we are trying to build up this movement. We have formed a society on the Institute of Open Technology Applications to promote the research, to make the awareness and to train the people about the free software. We are trying to implement many e-governance activities to design the software through using the FOSS platform. With all these words, I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to talk in this occasion. Thank you.
Dignitaries on the dais, and all the delegates of the conference, friends in the media. It is a great pleasure indeed to be a part of this endeavor in Cochin, which has given birth to the free software movement in the country. A decade back, there were some splinter initiatives which have been slowly formulating themselves, and this evangelization of these concepts has led into a huge movement that is building up in the cyber domain, albeit in a new way, across the world and also in India. As an organizer of the first conference, it's a great privilege, I feel it's a great honor to be here to brief you about the discussions and the deliberations that will be going on in this conference. The initiative of this conference, when it was shaping up, the sole idea was to rope in all the people who are not otherwise connected to the free software and just see through that the concepts of free software, the Swatantra software, this new paradigm of operation percolates into the greater sections for fast implementation of freedom in technology in the Indian conditions. In these 2 days, there are going to be 36 parallel seminars which will be discussed with open forums, and you will be having workshops and many other cultural activities imbibed with free software and freedom in culture also taking up here. The initiative that we took up in 2007 that happened too in Hyderabad has yielded good results and inspired many people to be a part of the greatly laudable free software movement. This is in continuity to such a spirit that a conference in Cochin is being organized. In the last conference, majority of the people, it was however attended by 850 people from all parts of the IT-centric states of the country. However, this time we have a huge representation from all parts of the country here, not just IT-centric states but other states too. The last conference of which the free software evangelists or free software activists who were completely owning up the concept of free software philosophy were however only 100 of the 850 audience. But now we could proudly say that the conference that was held in Hyderabad has helped us to take over the free software people who evangelize the concept of free software or the free software campaigners to be in the list of 1,000 people doing it on a continuous basis. And I believe that this conference also is going to achieve And the deliberations that are going to happen have been even more with the experience of the last conference have been classified into knowledge stream, the software stream, the technology stream, the institutional stream, the entrepreneur stream, because on the lines of entrepreneurship, this concept of freedom, we feel that it is important here. An alternative form of entrepreneurship has been experimented in Cochin, and which is one of the success stories of the free software business models also, and workshops in the open forums. Knowledge, we saw the slogan of this conference, or that was initially taken up by the reception committee being free software, free knowledge, and free humanity. And we know software would not be there in isolation, as it neural system to the human body, information technology is to the society of today's world. And we know that software has become an integral part of every production process, and it means that it is going to have a huge impact on the social stream, both the way how we operate, how we get alienated, and how we connect to each other. It has got many other dimensions. So we felt that it is also more important to discuss all the social implications and social benefits and the positive attitude to the free software, the free culture that is brought up into the human society and the social movements. And these kinds of concepts are being discussed in the social stream. And the next is the knowledge stream. However, there has been a debate since the Industrial Revolution, or even prior to that, of where should the knowledge be, whether it should be in the hands of the commons or the corporates, or you could say in the hands of in the public domain or the private domain. And there is a successful demonstrative model which has been striving hard since the 25 years, and we wish, and it is not staying in isolation, it is going into the field of geospatial data, data modeling, it is going into the open source drug discovery, it is going into all other fields of knowledge. And this conference, we believe that there is going to be an outcome in this knowledge sphere, that this concept of freedom really percolates into all other fields of sciences, not just social sciences, but all the other fields of other basic sciences also, and alternatives emerge. The software stream, which we have been working in, it's already 25 years old, and its application to real-time environments, the technology stream, and the institutional stream, which the Honorable Minister was announcing what could be the institutional approach to it, and how the institutionalization of free software has happened. This would be a success story which the entire country would like to know, learn from the experiences here, and this is the institutional stream that we have. And we have the entrepreneurial stream, where it is being classified into the free software for small and medium enterprises, free software for in the cooperative model, where they have here, I would always be happy to mention it here, that an initiative from Kerala which has started in the year 1998 has demonstrated that a software developmental model through the form of cooperatives is possible. In spite of all even when the state patronage was not there, they have been forming a cooperatives and struggling hard to establish it as a model. And this kind of a model, in the interest of the commons, should be taken up across the country to at least keep that our produce, or the produce of the human, of the knowledge workers of the country is really with them, not appropriated and alienated and taken away by a limited number of corporates. And these are the basic concepts that would be discussed in the coming 2 days, and each stream, and we assume that there is going to be a common slogan that is going to come out through these deliberations, and there would be declarations, if possible, worked out in every session for even more a practical approach of implementing free software into the greater spectrum of the society. With this I conclude, and thank you all for speaking in our
Respected Chairman, Dr. K.J.Ambrosiuse, Sri Kiran Chandran, convener of the first conference, Dr. Dipesh Das, Honorable Minister of IT West Bengal, Sri K.J.Ambrosiuse, MLA, and other respectable dignitaries on the dais, and dear friends. I was supposed to speak the seminar in the evening on global crisis. But I have an engagement in the evening which I cannot avoid. And for some reason, the organizers were insistent that I come in the morning engagement. I am deeply honored by this invitation and insistence.
what I have got to say should really belong to the periphery of the main theme of your discussions here, namely a background. And that what might the organizers wish us. This conference is taking place at a time when the contradictions of the person-world system has been very vividly and dramatically exposed. On the one hand, the advances in science and technology, in new material science, biotechnology, information and technology, and so on, the new scientific and technological revolution has advanced human capabilities to an extent unimaginable in the past. And this has created objective conditions for whole humanities needs to be met, let alone basic needs. Basic needs, even without the science and technology revolution, in the state of Kerala, we have been able to provide every citizen with minimum education, minimum health care, till very recently, a minimum, say, ration for food or shelter. So, even with the present system, the level of productiveness of humankind is such that everybody can be provided with a decent living. But what is happening today? You are finding that factories are laying off people, the jobless people don't have income, therefore they cannot buy the basic necessities, therefore goods remain unsold, therefore they lay off more people. Asset says 25% of the employment in the organized sector may be laid off. Why can't the textile worker buy a new clothes for his son? Because he has produced too much of the clothes. Now this is an absurdity in the past. Misery comes at the time of scarcity when you have famine or pestilence. But a good harvest means a feast day. But today, a good harvest can mean misery, fallen prices and misery. Crisis of overproduction is something unheard of in the pre-capitalist societies. And today this crisis has visited the world. And my argument is very simple. Even the nature of global crisis today, the nature of the productive forces, the full potential of the new science and technology revolution cannot be realized unless and until there is a change in the system. But I want to emphasize that I am not arguing, therefore, first the social revolution, then the fruits of science and technology. No. What I want to emphasize is, and this point I will come to the end, what I want to emphasize is that science and technology has become a contested arena, an area of political intervention for democratization. Science and technology becoming directly part of the productive forces, the efforts and movements for the democratization is indeed a very, very important area of political intervention to change the system. And this global crisis presents today an important moment when people are willing to listen
People were taken aback, surprised, what's happening? What's the explanation for this? And this is the moment, this is time to intervene. And that's the significance of this conference here today. Let me delve in an area which I am more competent. I will use this mostly as free software will be a bed to hang my coat on. That's the idea. Let me be very frank with you. So I will mostly deal with global crisis and come to technology again. Well, I just mentioned what's happening today. The world production is contracting, getting reduced. They say in the Eurozone already 2 quarters reduction has taken place, and it's only a technicality that formal declaration the recession has not been made. Now what happens when production contracts? Unemployment rises, incomes fall, demand fall. This leads to greater contraction of production. So the world has entered a vicious circle of contraction of output, employment, demand, feeding back to another round of contractions. And when do we hope to get out of this? Well, there is nobody who says we are going to get out of it next year. The most optimistic of our persons would say we have to pass 2009. A realistic picture would be something like 2011. Now, why does this happen? Why is this crisis of overproduction? It's Marx that provided the answer to this from the question. Before Marx and even after Marx, the basic proposition of mainstream economics was supply creates its demand. A guy called J.B. said that. What does it rise? When prices begin to rise, then expectations of further price rise come. How do you beat inflation? Only when you beat inflation, you increase the price of what you sell faster than inflation rate. Therefore, inflation feeds on itself, and then you have a situation where even when output is not growing, you have inflation. You have a situation where even when there is stagnation, there is inflation, and a new word had to be invented for this, and that is stagflation. Less productive, let them get destroyed. That kind of social Darwinism is a bit. So you have a situation where people argue, forget gains, leave market to decide everything. Government should be true. It's not the business of government to be in business. That's what Thatcher said. You have a process of privatization, deregulation, and globalization. Now, what happens when this neoliberal project is implemented? The deregulation resulted in kind of bubbles emerging. Concentration of activities in the financial sector. Deregulation enabled you to amass profits without directly intervening in the production. You don't have to run the factory, but you play the share market with the shares, and you can pocket the profit. You can play in the foreign exchange market, you can play in the commodity market. And because there are the speculative players, the price of share, everything rises above its true value. There is nothing called true value, but there is some normal notion about the price of the share and earnings. Some notion. When you buy a share, you are expecting an income from it, earning from it, the dividend. So there must be some link, but when speculation comes in, this link is lost. Sensex will rise from 10,000 points to 21,000 points in a matter of 6-7 months without anything happening in different industries. These are what is called bubbles. When the price of any asset, it can be share, it can be an asset, it can be foreign exchange, when it rises much above its true value, this gets the bubble. When the bubble bursts, and this happen, well, then suddenly world is down. World is down. When there's a bubble, and house prices are risen to the sky, or land prices are risen to the sky, then banks lend against these high-priced assets, which are balloon, which is fictitious. Land in Cochin needing costs 1 crore rupee per cent, which is the price in marine drive. Now somebody buys the land, he can take to the bank and take money, giving it as security. Suppose the bubble bursts, what happens? Banks then don't have a security with them. Suppose land price falls to 50 lakh, suddenly they find they don't have money. Their asset they took as security is meaningless. And these banks will lend, what they do? They took all these mortgages, bundle them up as securities and sold. A market for the securities arose, and the securities, they found various wide ways of selling and reselling these securities, so that it spread all over the globe. They said just spreading risk. But when the bubble burst, everything fell. And so, what has happened? You have entered an era of long-term stagnation. When globalization began 20 years back, whole lot of people thought world capitalism is going to enter a phase of long-term prosperity. If you look at the history of capitalism, you in fact can find certain periods of 20, 25 years or 30 years when the entire system prospered. These long decades of prosperity was always preceded by a major jump in science and technological innovations. Take the prosperity period immediately after Industrial Revolution. You had steam engine coming in, a new infrastructure, shipping, new sorts of industry textiles, and then by the early 19th century, the Industrial Revolution began to lose the steam. And then there was a period of stagnation, and ending up with these revolutions of 1848 and so on. Only the second half of 19th century, once again, a major growth, which lasted till the First World War. Then post-World War period, Second World War period, you have once again a spurt. That's when new technologies related to atom bomb, electronics, oil, and you have major infrastructure, water banks, aerospace. You have new consumer durable industries of automobiles, military production, and so on. So you look at the whole capitalist system, you will find the long decades of prosperity which is preceded by a major break in the science and technological innovation. And therefore there were many who thought, well, with globalization, with these new advances in science and technology, particularly biotechnology, information technology taking place, the capitalist system is poised for a major, a long wave of growth. Now this lies shattered. If you take the 1960s, 70s, capitalism grew, world production grew per capita something like 3.5%. If you take 1970s, the growth declined to 2.4%. 1980s to 1.4%, the worst period of stagnation. Then, in the 1990s, inched forward to 1.7%. And everybody thought a new era has dawned. Information technology, biotechnology is going to lift world capitalism's new trajectory of growth. But now, with this recession, the growth rate in the post-1990s was going to be something less than around 1%, which shows the long-run recession or long-run decline in the production. That set in by the mid-1970s is continuing, has not been solved despite the new technologies. But it's wrong. Production is not a technological process, a social process. Therefore, if new potential of new technologies has been tapped for greater accelerated accumulation, it's important that the social structures of accumulation are instituted. Today, neoliberalism has proved that is not an optimal regulatory system. So much so, Fukuyama, who declared, history has amended his statement usually saying capitalism has to be saved from capitalists. So, what is going to be the new regime? What is going to be the new financial architecture? G20 is meeting to discuss. Bush has already said, I am not going to discuss the change in regulation. Suppose you want something more, China has said something else. So I don't think anything was going to come out of it. That's one side. Other side is, how do you control this new technology? Even if the financial architecture comes, social structure of accumulation comes, you will need to have a new property regime which would enable capital to mass up, to pocket surplus produced by this new technology. And that is the intention of new IPRs, not becoming a private property. In the past, when we say productive forces, you have your mind, imagination is the big tractors and visions and factories and so on. But today, biotechnology, what is the productive force? Your knowledge about genetical characteristic of the cell, that is what the productive force is about. A new growth process, an upsurge in the productive forces that can be utilized by capitalism only by making absolute private property ownership of these new technologies. And that's why struggle in the area of science and technology